Okay. So welcome. Welcome to your practice. Welcome to this Thursday evening. So we're just going to begin. Sit as you are, nice and comfortably, and you can let your hands rest. Your eyes can gently close, and just tune into this process of breathing. The inhale, the exhale. The inspiration and the expiration of each breath. And let this be a settling moment for you to just release whatever you need to release. And if you feel you need to take your hands up and just kind of move the air energy or the air around you, then go ahead and add that in. Otherwise, just taking a few more moments here. We talk about the two parts of the breath, the inspiration and the expiration, the inhale, the exhale. And just feeling that they are each equally important. That we can't really have one without the other. We can't. And sometimes we fear the expiration as the death. And the inspiration we see as vitality. And in a lot of ways, they're exactly the same. Equally important. Knowing that there's an end is what gives life meaning. And we could also put that for each and every breath. Equally important. And bringing your hands together at your heart. Inhale, lengthen tall. And exhale, bow your chin for a moment. And you welcome yourself to your mat, to your practice, and to your own presence. And we'll open this practice and chant Om 3 times. As you inhale, re-lengthen, lift your chin, and then exhale this breath. Inhale for first Om. Releasing your breath, bowing your chin. Place your hands on your thighs. Lift your chin and open your eyes. Okay. So we're going to start with foot massage. And that could be, you could keep your socks on if you like. If you have some oil, then you could bring that in too. So whatever you like to do. We're just going to really give some attention to each foot. And I'm just going to grab my oil here. Good. Okay. So we'll start with one foot. And I know I always want to start with my left foot, the non-dominant foot. So I'm going to start with the other one. Okay. Oh, I'm running out. Okay. All right. So just taking a few moments to just say hello to your foot. And feel in tender places and anything the dry skin, all that stuff, just acquainting yourself. Good. Okay, then we're just going to start with the toes. So whatever you're doing, take your time and then work your way up to your toes, and we'll give each toe a little twist and a little pull. And then once you do that, just kind of pull the toes apart. So we're just going to bring some movement into each toe and into the spaces between the toes. Good. Okay, just really warm them up. And then we're going to take the opposite hand and weave the fingers in between the toes like we do. And you can use that same hand to just pull the toes up. So you try and get web to web as best as you can. And then wherever you are, I'm just going to move this foot. I might be able to, maybe this is better for you and you can roll the ankle. So if you're good like this and roll the ankle, that's great. Good. And just let the hand do the rolling. So notice if the foot's taking over, and see if you can soften the foot and just let the opposite hand do the moving and manipulating. Keep breathing. Soften your eyes. Good. Okay. I'm going to sneak the fingers out. I'm going to take the top of the hand to the top of the foot, and I'm just going to draw that foot. So I just want to make sure you can see. I'm just taking that as if that top of the foot, I can bring it in more. The toes might be turning in. Just to stretch the top of the foot a little bit here. And then, feel free to move the foot. Like just be a little playful. Good. Okay, and I'm just going to crunch the toes in. So as if they want to fold right in. And breathing and moving your foot. Yes. Okay, if you get a cramp, just use your other hand. And then we're going to just open these toes up now. So as if you're flexing the toes. And I call this a floint, where we flex the toes but point the foot. So I'm just going to flex the toes with the hand, and then I'm bringing the foot again into this extension at the top of the foot. But I'm pushing the toes into the hands. Whatever you're doing here is good. Good. Okay. And then we'll take the foot, and I'm just going to flex it as much as I can and use the hand to just push and maybe also move it around. Okay, good. Then take your hand and just give this foot its nice little massage all the way through. Work the arch of the foot, the middle of the foot. We'll just take 5 more breaths here, whatever you're doing. Great. Okay. All right. And then we'll take a moment, look at your feet, observe the color and the sensation. And
this one looks so gray and like
dead. Yeah, dead and lifeless. Yeah. So if you find that on your foot, don't be freaked out. It's normal. Okay. And then we'll
suck it up.
Switch. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so we'll do the same thing. Let's take a few moments here and say hello to this foot. Good. Okay, and then again, we'll just work our way up to the toes, and you'll do the same thing, just twisting, pulling, and then making that space between the toes a little stretched. Yes. Okay, and then after you've given those toes some love, then we'll sneak the opposite hand, the fingers in, and you can use your hand to help. And I'll just say this again and again and again. We say the same things all the time, but if you don't get all the way down, that's okay. Go where you need to. And if it's very painful, or let's say I'm going to take out the word painful, there's a lot of discomfort. Just breathe into that and hello, good to see you. Okay, so I'm just moving the fingers around here and listening to all the cracking and whatever else is arising. Okay, and then we'll sneak the fingers out. And I'm just going to grab the top of the foot again and just pull it into this, so I've changed the way I'm sitting. You can sit however you like. And just kind of give it a little pull. Good. And then we're going to make our way to the toes and just give them a little crunch. So you're crunching them in and also flexing the top of the foot here. Or this is a point, sorry, not a flex. And just feel that, whatever that is. Good. Okay, and then we'll just move the toes to its floint. So the toes are flexed and the foot is still kind of pointed. And then just feel into that and, feel free to move it too. Good. Okay. And, I think that was it. Did we do this again?
I think we pushed.
Oh, we pushed.
Straight. That's right.
That's what we did. Okay. Takes a village. So the foot is flex this time, and I'm just going to push in and see if I can make it more flexed with my hand, and at the same time also move it. Thank you, Heart.
And we also did this. Remember, we didn't roll our ankle.
Oh my gosh, we didn't roll the ankle. Roll your ankle. Phew. Okay, I'm going to sneak my fingers back in just because I can do that super easy, but don't worry about it too much. And we'll go in both directions. I'd remember at like 10 o'clock a day and be like, the other angle. I need to call everybody right away. Are they going to be okay? Okay, good. And then we'll let that go. You can give your foot some nice final love here. Good. And then we'll sock it up.
Sock it up.
Okay. All right. Groovy, guys. So we're going to go on to our backs from here. Per request. Art's all pretending he's surprised, but he's not.
I'm sorry to walk that camera. Just take one of these.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to take a blanket. And so this is the blanket folded in its square. And that might be perfect for you. Or if you want like a little bit of extra height, you'll just fold it in half. So you can start with it folded in half, and then it's pretty easy to unfold. Okay, and then I'm going to bring my bolster in, just so I know where it is. And I'm going to start with the bolster. Oh, let me see. You can all see. Okay, so I'll have the bolster. You can have it any direction, but when I was playing, I had it the long way. And okay, so then we'll just bring our hips onto the blanket roll like we do with the block. And you'll support your head with the bolster. And then, I wore this big sweater to kind of wrap up like a blanket. Okay, and then you can just kind of figure out what feels good.
Hips on the blanket, is it okay?
I put the hips on the blanket. So the idea is that, we have a little bit of falling of the mid back, low back. The head is supported. So the shoulders can kind of relax here. And so you set this up. If it feels like it's too much, replace bolster with blanket. You might prefer it without the head support too. It'll be open. And then once you're settled here, we'll just take a few breaths and just let everything, come into this shape. And so I've kept the legs bent, but if you want to straighten yours for a few, then go ahead. And just being with the inspiration, expiration of each breath. Okay, allow yourself to drop into all these supports. So for the next few breaths, do as little as possible. Let's stay in tune with your breath. And just before we move on from here, I sit here, I'm sitting with my breath, and I start to feel this like excitement, which always kind of comes in right before practice or when we're at this point, really. And so just bring in that bit of like, oh, I'm lying on my back. What's going to happen next? I don't know. Kind of excited. I feel a little inspired. You might even find yourself smiling. Good. Okay, and then if you straightened your legs, bend the knees, place the feet on the floor. Okay, you might adjust this blanket. We're gonna do some cat-cows here. So I'm gonna lift the hips. I'm just gonna bring the blanket up just a little bit so I feel almost like the tailbone can kind of hang. I don't know if you can see that, but you know, my tush is not touching the floor, but it's kind of hanging. And then I'm just gonna move through cat-cow. So this tilting of the pelvis. So the feet come in. So at this point, you know, if the bolster under your head is more of a hindrance, then just pop it out. There is definitely some moving of the head that happens here for me anyway. I lift it up as the pelvic tilts up, then I want to move my head away. So just notice if that's happening for you. Good. Okay. And just do a few more, just even, you know, exaggerate it a little bit. And notice how the breath wants to play. Right. Okay, so let's do one more. And then we're just gonna rest here. Maybe if it works, you can bring both knees into your chest. We'll take like this little child's pose, and the blanket is still where it is. You could move if you need to. And I'm gonna bring the bolster back in. So it's almost like, you know, you're in this rounded cat pose. Good. Okay, so let's take 2 more breaths here. Release your feet to the floor. We're going to open the feet wide apart and just come to a windshield wiper here. And it could be whatever it is, you know, it might be just a little bit. Notice the 2 sides. Good. So I like that blanket. It feels almost like it's massaging and holding. Good. Okay. Nice. All right, let's do one more on each side. And then we'll come to center, and we're going to take this blanket out from underneath the hips and just set it over to the side. Good. And you can remove the bolster if you like. Maybe stretch your arms over your head. Good. And then I'm just wiggling myself away from the wall a little bit so I can stretch the legs out. And we'll just take a nice big stretch here right on the floor. Flex your feet. And just breathe. This is it. Just extend your arms, extend your legs. Feel the inspiration and expiration of each breath. Good. And take one more full inhale. And as you exhale, let's bring the left knee into your chest. And then go ahead and rock this knee side to side a little bit. Yes. Okay. And then just settle on your back here. You can put in like 50% effort. If you want to take the hands behind the thigh, that's fine. Or you keep the hands where they are. Let your eyes close. The right leg can just be soft. And just tune into the breath. Good. Okay. So I'm going to take the right hand is going to hold the left knee. The left arm's going out to the side. And as you exhale now, you're just going to bring this left knee over to the right. And I have this blanket roll right here. I could just, you know, fold it up. You have your bolster nearby. You can throw it underneath if you need to. You could take that left foot and pop it on top of your thigh. So it'll be the inside of the right thigh, the left foot on top of the inside of the right thigh. You see how that is? And if it's no good, just let the leg come out, or so the foot can move out. You're just gonna see what feels okay. And we'll just take 2 more breaths here. Okay, and then come back onto your back. Okay, now take that blanket, if it's near, right there. I'm going to set the left foot on the floor, and I'm going to put this blanket roll on my tummy and just right by that left hip crease, and then bring the left knee back in. And so here's where things get interesting. So you either make the blanket less, or you put your hands behind the thigh and make that less. We're just getting a little crunchy here. And I'm going to just activate the right leg. So that means that the heel is on the floor, the toes are up. The smile. And try and release the shoulders, the back of the head. Whatever you can. So you have a little bit of something happening, but you're not trying to make anything happen. We'll take 1 more breath. Okay, if you want, before you release, you can really draw that thigh in, make it really crunchy, and then release it. Take that blanket and just pop it over to the left side. And we'll extend both legs out. Maybe the arms go over the head if that's okay for you. And just do nothing, but feel your breath. And tuning in also, to the effects of whatever that little sequence did. And feel that the right side right now is like, wants to be inspired. We'll take 1 nice big breath in. And as you breathe out, right knee into chest. Change the interlace of your fingers. Draw it in. And then take a few moments, if you want to rock side to side. Anything here. And if your head needs support, you can always bring that bolster in. That might be nice for you, or a blanket. Good. Okay. Nice. We'll take 1 more breath. And then preparing for twist. So the left hand holds the knee, right arm out. And then we'll take it over to the side and use your blanket, or maybe it doesn't work, it's fine. And then the right foot can settle on top of the inside of the left thigh. You can rock, you can be still, or you take that left foot and just set it off wherever it wants to go. Good. And then smile, even if this is very tight. Good. And then we'll come back onto your back. And you can just bring that knee in for a moment. Okay, and we'll set that foot on the floor just to bring the blanket in. And so again, it's just there to bring a little bit of extra. It's like, I say sometimes we use the blocks to bring the floor closer, and here we're using this to give ourselves a little bit more girthiness. Good. So wherever you need to hold on, I'm going to make the left leg a little active. Heel on the floor, toes pointing up. Good. And then I'm looking to make it a little tight in there. But if it's too much, you're the only one who knows. So be here, feel each breath. Good. Okay, as we move into the final breath, if you want to make it a little tighter, really pull that leg in. Good. Okay, I'm going to keep the blanket where it is and just release the both legs out, arms wherever you like, over your head or out to the side. And we'll just take a few more moments here of inspiration, expiration. Good. Okay. So bolster can stay under the head. It can come out. We're going to bring both knees into the chest, and I'm going to keep this blanket here. So if it's too, you'll adjust. So both knees come in. The hands maybe hold the knees, backs of the thighs, whatever you can get. And then just see if you can, find a little bit of pressure, even if you just draw the knees in and let them go a few times. Okay, I also want you to notice your head, friends. And just to make sure your chin's not lifting higher than your forehead, just tuck it in or bring that bolster back in. Good. Okay. So now you're here, you know what this is, and we're just going to do that knee walking thing we do. So with the hands holding the knees, I'll let one knee move away, one knee I pull in, and then switch. And just do that a few times. Good. Okay, and then just bring the knees back in. Maybe they come a little closer together. If that's possible. And you don't need to be working so hard. It's happening. We're massaging this tummy. Good. Okay, last breath. And then release. And as you set the feet on the floor, I'm going to take this blanket and just pop it over to the right side. Okay, take a few moments to just rest in. You can stretch the legs out. Feel your breath. Good. Okay. Good. All right. So from here, I'm going to bend both knees again. Place the feet on the floor and then just walk the feet a little wide. We're going to take the right leg and just drop it down into Baddha Konasana. And you can let the left hip lift. Like if you need to roll more onto the right side, that's fine. And then we're going to just take the left leg, and it might go up in the air and it might stay bent. We're just going to wave it side to side. This is what we're doing here, just side to side. So use your hands, whatever you need. You can close your eyes and just make it your own and feel. It's really about the twist. Okay. Yes. Good. And just find that place too, where you feel like, oh yeah. I want you to find that oh yeah place. Good. Okay. And then we're going to let the knees come together as we move into twist. And here's where the blanket might slide underneath the left leg. It might go in between the knees. And then you'll turn your head away from your knees. And we're going to breathe here exactly as you are. Okay, if you would like to straighten your legs, that's the full extension of the pose. And you see how that is. But if it's, you're compromising a lot to do that, then don't do it. Just be fine and content with wherever you need to be. But also explore space. Good. Okay, take 3 more breaths. Nice big inspiration and a big breath for expiration. Good. And then make your way onto your back, and we're going to move that blanket roll over to the left, or a blanket fold or whatever it is now. Good. Okay, take a few moments here again just to feel. So I'm just going to go into basic resting pose with the knees together and feet wide apart. Good. And just settle in. Good. Okay. So we're going to do all that on the second side. So separate the knees. I'm going to let the left leg just kind of drop out so the knee comes down. And then we'll take the right leg up. And again, you know, it doesn't need to do anything. It's just like the lever to take us over to the side and twist the back. You know, all at your own pace, in your own space, in your own place, wherever you need to be here. Good. And just let it be. All right. And then make your way into the twisting rest place. However you want that to happen, set it up. And then you can let the head drop to the right. So if you need to or you want to change or play with the placement of your legs, again, just being playfully curious. Yes. Okay. Good. Yes. So we'll just do a few more breaths here. Let each one count. So important. Good. Okay. All right, and then we'll come out of that. You can leave the blanket where it is. And just come onto your back. You can straighten the legs if you like, or keep them bent. Again, we're just going to be here. Feel these breaths. Good. Okay. All right, so before we move on from here, just wiggling your toes or moving your ankles and your wrists a few times. So if the legs are bent, maybe straighten them for a few moments and just move your ankles, roll your feet, both directions, same with the wrists. Good. Fingers. Good. Okay, and then we'll just bring the hands together, interlace the fingers. We're going to flip the palms and just extend the arms up if this works. You know, go wherever you need to. And then we'll just start to take them over the head. And, you know, mine are going to land on my bolster. If that's good for you, do that. Or just extend them straight out. Flex the feet. Yes. Good. And we'll take 2 more breaths like this. You can press the hands away from you. So you're just kind of getting a little longer. Heels away from you. Good. Nice. And then we'll release the hands. And I'm going to bring both knees in again. Just hug the knees in towards your chest. So you might be propless. That's fine. You could also put that blanket behind your head. Just want to really support the head. Good. Okay. All right. So this is a rinse off your day. And we're just going to come to egg beaters. So actually, before we do that, I'm going to put my feet on the floor. I'm going to lift the hips and put the hands underneath the tush like we've been doing. So maybe the thumbs and the index fingers touch. If this is okay. Now, oh shoot, where were we going?
Egg beater.
Yeah, egg beater. Take your legs up and find your egg beater. Okay, so whichever direction, let the feet be in it, the hips, the knees. You can go very slow. Good. Okay, and then once you kind of have it, so I'm also moving the hands around a little bit and just finding that place where they're the most beneficial. You could also sneak them out. Okay, we'll egg beat the opposite way. I love this. Like so much is happening for the joints, the hips. So my swimming is so great. Okay, good. And then set your feet on the floor. You can lift your hips, take your hands out. If you want a basic resting pose or stretch your legs out, it's all lovely and fine. Good. I can feel my heart beating. Okay. Take one more breath. Breathe out. And then we'll roll to the side. And just very gently, press yourself up as we do, very lovingly, gently. And we're going to set up for supported Setu Bandha. So I'll take this blanket and I'll just put it down at the end of my mat. Okay, I'm gonna take the bolster, and that will go in the middle of the mat, just like that. And then we want to support the legs. So you might use your blocks to support your feet if you have the luxury of another bolster. Thank you. And then you could put another bolster there for your feet. You could also, if you have another blanket, I'm sure you do, or something else, to just cover the, I'm just going to, I have this little, it's my grandmother's shawl. Bring it in all the time. And then I might just put it on top of the blocks to support the feet. Okay, if you have a strap nearby, and I know you do, then it's a nice thing to kind of strap the legs in as well. So once you have all that, then you might also want to bring in your blanket and your eye pillow. And then I'll take the strap, it's already done up from our last practice. And I'm just going to belt in maybe around the middle of the calves. So it doesn't need to be super tight. We don't want to cut off circulation. We just want the legs to stay where they blend. Okay, I'm sitting on the center of the bolster, and I'll just lift up, kind of slide back. And you find that place where when you lie back, your shoulders are on the floor, your head's on the floor. And hopefully that feels good. If it doesn't, it's too much, just move the bolster down. So you can adjust that, and you can probably do that without coming up. Just lift your hips. Okay, then I'll stretch the legs out. Oh, it's hitting perfect.
I missed.
You missed, heart missed. It's not a clear thing. So take your time, friends. And we're in the studio. I generally, when we do this pose, I end up running around and adjusting foot blocks, but you are on your own. So find that place where you feel the legs are supported. No, your feet or the Achilles are supported. If the strap is too much, it's not comfortable, you don't like it, you can take it off. I'm just going to loosen mine a little bit. And then the last thing you might want to do is put a blanket on or your eye pillow. So I hope you feel comfortable. What we're looking for here is to have the heart a little bit lifted, the head is down, and the legs are also slightly elevated. So this is one of those magic poses. It's an inversion. It's described as an inversion. There's a lot that's happening, very soothing for the brain. Okay, and then so take some time. If your head's not comfortable, you can play with the blanket, roll down the top, or just take your time, because we're going to be here for about 5 minutes. And your only work is to feel the inspiration and expiration of your breath. And those are the two main parts of the breath. But there's also the pause at the top and the pause at the bottom. And all four equally important. And spend this time softening your body, being with your breath, and allowing the supports and the shape of the pose to work its magic. You are here I am here. We are here together. And settling in the next few breaths, mindfully and completely release, using every expiration of your breath to assist you in dropping in anything you're still holding. Trust and release. Okay. So just preparing to come out, just maybe wiggling your toes, your fingers. And if you did strap your legs in, you might slide the strap off, and then just come to basic resting pose here. Ganeshi. Ganeshi. The feet are wide and the knees are together. Ganeshi. Good. And just take a few more breaths. Okay, so we're not going to roll out to come out unless you need to, but hopefully you can just lift your hips. Use your hands to just slide the bolster all the way out. And then give it, I have it down low. I'm going to use it to support the legs. So I just moved it down and turned it. It's right here. Right, I'm going to just extend the legs and let the bolster support the knees, the thighs. Those blocks are going to support the feet or the ankles. And then the blanket you have here, you're welcome to just, fold it in or whatever you need to kind of create like a nice little head support. So just fold it in. I'll just do that again. So I just grabbed the outside edges, just folded them in, and then took that little triangle top and just folded it over to support the head. But whatever you're doing is also fine. Okay, and then just take a few moments here, let the body come back. And this is where the magic starts to permeate in a little bit. Okay. Okay, so staying here, wiggling your fingers, your toes, and then bend your knees, place your feet maybe on the bolster, and that might be fine. Maybe you just want to stay there, or you bring knees into the chest and just bring in some movement here, massage your back. Okay, and then after you've done that, then we're just gonna roll over to the side, and I'm gonna bring you up to sitting for some breathing. So if you prefer to just stay as you are, that's okay too. You might as well come up, and here's where I start to feel the effects of that pose. So we'll just sit for a moment. You can sit on your bolster. You can just be in your stillness. Just send it back into shoulders. Yeah. Okay. And then from here, we're just going to do some alternate nostril breathing. So you'll take your dominant hand and we'll take the thumb. Yeah. So we just use that where the nostril flares. So we'll rest the thumb there and the other two fingers. And then and then the index middle finger can touch the third eye or it can come in. Good. And then once you're here, close your eyes. Just breathing through both nostrils. Okay. So we're going to inhale through both nostrils. And then you'll seal off the right nostril and exhale through the left. And then inhale through your left. Pause and switch and exhale through the right. So we switch with every exhalation. So just continuing on. No attachment. Meaning that if one nostril is not totally clear, you need to breathe through your mouth. Let that happen. So it's an exhale, inhale, switch. Let's just do a few more rounds. Okay, we'll end with an exhale through the right. And then you'll release your hands and just feel what has transpired, what has changed. The fullness of your breath. Okay, good. So just before we move on from this, bring your hands together and bow to yourself. Just bowing to the inspiration, the expiration, those things that inspire us, the things that fire us. And this great gift of embodiment for creativity. Really seeing your hands, lift your chin and open your eyes. Okay, so our last pose, if you loved what we were just in and you just want to go down to that, that's fine. Otherwise, I'm going to take this bolster and I'm just going to turn it over the blocks I have here for the feet. Yeah, okay. And then I'm just going to lie over it with a little bit of elevation here. And I'm going to take this blanket too. Just going to open it up. Yeah, just like I just kind of opened it kind of roughly and folded it. All right, so you might go to cross-legged here and do that blanket wrap we did the other day. So I just take the blanket over the ankles. And I'm going to come into Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together, and use the blanket. And that's enough for me, but it might not be enough for you. So you want to prop up as much as you need, or sit and or go to cross-legged. And I'll have you switch if you do cross-legged. So whichever one, take your time. Feel what, if this works, if this feels good. For me, it's good. And then decide how you want to put your feet. And we'll just take a few moments here. So now we have the head is lifted. You feel that the heart is below the head here. And I just want to open, open the pelvic floor so it can receive its breath. So Baddha Konasana or cross-legged, and if neither of those are working for you today, just stretch your legs out, but create some space between them. Good. And just let go. Let it flow. And perhaps, if you opened your windows, you can hear some birds outside and your neighbors maybe. And just savoring that which is around you. And just adding in the sound of your own breath. And if you're in cross-legged, now would be the time to just change to the opposite cross. Scanning, noticing if you're holding yourself. Maybe the shoulders can drop, the back of the heart can release a little more. Any tension in the forehead, the third eye. And your actual eyes. And so any time from now, the next 5-10 breaths, and you're just going to stretch your legs out. And I'm just going to move this blanket without disturbing the body too much. Just kind of kick it down as I extend the legs, and they might just rest on top of it. And you might open the legs a little wider than hip distance apart. Okay, and so just staying in this restful state, I'm going to take one hand and just the index finger, middle finger, I'm just going to place them on the third eye. So right at the center of your forehead. And you could just hold them there, or you might start to trace a circle. And then the other hand can stay where it is, or maybe it wants to come to rest on your heart or your belly. And just let this be this great, moment of connection and softening, of understanding, whatever you're holding. And to be kind and gentle to yourself. Maybe tell yourself, you're doing great. You're breathing. And you're feeling in. And that is not so easy. So give yourself kudos for everything you do. Okay. And then you might be very comfortable here just to slip into your Shavasana. But if you'd like to, flip around and change position or whatever it is, take your time and feel that. And if you want to add a blanket to cover yourself with, and add that into, just make it very nice. And tuck ourselves in for the next few minutes we have to just rest. And to rest without distraction. Let your eyes rest. So that's where an eye pillow can be really nice sometimes. Turn it all off. And to be in the flow of your breath, to be inspired, and to also be expired. And to feel the balance and uniqueness in both. And gently coming back to your breath. And in this state, without using your hands, see if you can bring in the alternate nostril breathing just through intention. Imagining you can switch nostrils with at every inhalation. And just feel that for a few moments. Whether it's happening or you're imagining it's happening. Just be with your gentle flowing breath as it flows in through the right side and out through the left. And then in through the left and out through the right. And finish off exhaling through the right nostril. And then just be with the breath a few rounds. Notice, your inspiration, if you feel you can inspire a little bit more deeply with your breath. And if the expiration also has more space. Good. Begin to gently invite in little movements if you're coming to sit up to seal this class. Just bring them in and take your time as you move. And eventually you'll make your way onto your side. Mindful that you might still be on a height with the bolster. Nice. Take your time. Okay. Once you come upright, stay with your eyes closed and your hands resting, relaxed. Just taking a few breaths. And bringing your hands together at your heart. Inhale, lengthen tall, and as you exhale, bow your chin with great reverence, devotion for all that you are and all that you have not yet discovered. Yes. Good. And inhale, grow tall. Exhale here, and we'll join together in our May We Be Blessed mantra. Inhale. May we be blessed with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be healthy and may we be happy. We'll seal that with one Om. Inhale. Take a full breath in. Breathe into your hands. All of everything goes in here. You lift your chin and open your eyes and offer that to yourself. Like putting on your own oxygen mask first, right? And then we offer it out. Yeah, all the way out. Great. I feel it. Thank you. All right. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for being here and playing yoga with me. May you be inspired by everything you do.
Oh, yeah, buddy.
Cute puppies. So much love. Thank you. Good night, everybody. See you later.
Oh, really, Barley?